kutoka Uholanzi, Ujerumani na pia timu ama nchi ya Ubelgiji. Wote wanamfahamu. Aliweza kuwakilisha vilabu kadhaa katika nchi zote tatu isipokuwa nchi ya Uingereza. Ameweza kuwakilisha timu ya taifa Nigeria mara kadhaa, zaidi ya mara 60, kiungo wakati, lakini anafahamika sana kwa matobo aliyokuwa akipiga, mikwaju na mabao, ambao aliwahi kufunga bao moja lilotambulika sana mwaka 1998 katika kombe la dunia nchini Ufaransa dhidi ya Uhispania. Sunday Oliseh yupo ndani ya mjengo kama nilivyokuambia awali, na tupo naye ili kutueleza mengi kuhusiana na ziara yake ya siku 3 nchini Kenya na katika hali ya kukuza talanta ya soka hasa katika nchi ya Kenya na pia kupigia pondo ligi kuu nchini Ujerumani almaarufu Bundesliga. Karibu kwenye mpango mzima wa Zilizala Viwanjani mtazamaji, leo ikiwa ni siku ya tarehe 20 mwezi Disemba mwaka 2016. Jina langu ni Abula Ahmed na siko peke yangu ndani ya studio kama nilivyokuambia awali, bali ni naye nambari 19 amekata namba zote, Hassan Mwana Ali ndani ya studio. Karibu. Siku nyingi sana tujakutana.
Nyingi sana, nashukuru. Na wajua waambiwa mgeni akija mwenyeji anapata nafuu, na kama ulivyosema Sunday Oliseh ndani ya mjengo na wageni wengineo, na umetaja 98 lile goli akimfunga Zubereta finali zile Hispania dhidi ya Nigeria. Nafurahi sana kumwona Oliseh na amenambia Kiswahili na Kimanya. Jambo.
Jambo.
Karibu sana. Welcome to Nairobi bana.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Na mtazamaji, ni Sunday Oliseh ambaye yupo ndani ya studio, na leo usiulize manake tutachanganya ndimi, lugha ya Ung'eng'e na pia lugha ya Kiswahili ndani ya studio. Welcome to Sunday Oliseh.
Thanks for having me here.
It's a pleasure having you in the studio.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
How have you seen Kenya since yesterday?
Well, it's been great. I've been eating, trying out some of the meals, and also meeting a lot of the people. It's fun.
Welcome. Karibu sana. Have you learned some Swahili words?
I just learned just one now. That's just the jambo.
I heard you say asante.
Asante.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Welcome to Kenya once again. Na pia kando yake tunaye bwana Mike, karibu kwa studio za KTN, na pia utatueleza mengi kuhusiana na ujio ama ziara ya Sunday Oliseh katika nchi ya Kenya na pia katika hali ya kukuza talanta nchini Kenya. Karibu kwa studio zetu. Na kwanza kabisa tuanze na taarifa hiyo. Ndio taarifa ya kwanza ni kwamba aliyekuwa nahodha na pia wakati mmoja mkufunzi wa timu ya taifa ya Nigeria Sunday Oliseh amewahimiza viongozi wa kandanda nchini watilie maanani ukuzaji wa soka ya chipukizi ili kuboresha viwango vya mchezo huo. Oliseh aliingia nchini hapo jana kwa ziara ya siku 3 ili kupigia debe ligi kuu nchini Ujerumani almaarufu Bundesliga na pia kutoa mafunzo kwa wachezaji chipukizi.
The German league is probably the youngest league in the world when we look at the average age of players in the leagues. And you see that from the 23 players that went and won the World Cup 2 years ago in a different continent, in South America, where no other nation in the world, no other nation from outside our continent has won the World Cup there before. From these 23, 21 of them were formed in the academies of the German clubs. Now the question is, what are they doing that makes them so special? It is a methodical, gradual, planned working with young players. And that is what I feel that we have no choice. There are two ways of succeeding in football. Either you buy success or you create success. And if we can't buy it, we have to create it. But the football that is being played now in the Bundesliga is a football that if we, Africa, want to progress, we have no choice. We have to imitate. That is just where it affects us, and that is why I feel that if I'm going to be part of the vehicle that helps to pass this on to my race, to my people, with pleasure I will do that. We don't have the infrastructures, but you have to work on what you have, and what we have is that creativity, and that does not come from being taught. It comes from the streets of Nairobi, the streets of Lagos, the streets of, Joburg, everywhere. And that is what I mean we have to invest in.
Ni miongoni mwa magwiji wa soka katika bara la Afrika ambaye aliwahi tamba katika nchi kadhaa katika bara Europa. Sunday Oliseh, if you can tell us about your visit here in Kenya.
Well, first, thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here amongst my brothers, because Nigeria, Kenya, there's not much difference. We're the same hot-headed people, so it's all the same. What we're here to do is to try to share the vision, how beneficial it can be to us as Africans. Trying to pay attention to what's happening in the Bundesliga. And I think how that can benefit us as a race, and how we can use that to improve the lives and the playing standards of our people. And as I was trying to explain, they are working with the young players, and that's something we have a lot of. And we have a lot of people in Africa who want to play football. But the question that is keeping us back, in my opinion, is how do we develop those young players so that when they come up against the Europeans, or they can be able, against the South Americans, the world itself, that we can be competitive enough to make the people of Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa proud. And there is no secret about it. We didn't create football. We borrowed it, but we have to improve on it and be better than the ones who created it. And I think a fixed, a concerted effort to copy from people who are succeeding, I don't think it is bad for us as Africans. So we need to watch the league as much as possible, and then take from the Bundesliga what fits us. The one that we don't like, we leave it with them, and we make it to improve our own football.
Yeah, there are more successful teams out there in the Bundesliga, and there's a huge gap between Africa and the African countries and some of the European leagues. Yeah. Can we close that gap, and how can we do it?
The first way to close that gap is by education. And the education is, I don't mean going to school, but just understanding something. That education is this: football is no longer individuals making the success. It has now become a concerted team effort. You now have to have team strategies, team tactics. And in getting this to work out, that means gone are the days where you just pick, a star, you join them together and it works, like the Galacticos, like they used to do. Now you will bring that, and you will have a team like Iceland that will come with a team football, and they all stay behind, and they work one for the other, and at the end of the day, you will play better, but you will lose. So we are now, Africa, what can we do? We have to improve our coaching. And we can't improve our coaching by continuing what we're doing here. We have to improve it in the sense that give our coaches the ammunition to now coach the players and bring them to the modern level of collective play.
We have millions of fans here in Kenya who follow the English Premier League, and very few follow the Bundesliga. You played in Holland, you played in Bundesliga in Germany and also in Belgium. Why Bundesliga? Why the German league?
Well, I played 7 years in the Bundesliga for 3 different clubs. And just like the Italian league and everything, where I played also. But you look at them, and then you look at Bundesliga is the most complete league in the world. It's most complete in the sense that you never know who's going to win. People say Bayern is winning it, but it's because of the fact of the investment that Bayern puts in as regards not only winning the Bundesliga, but also Europe, because you see them also dominating in the Champions League. So that is the thing that is going there. The Bundesliga, why does it suit us? The other leagues, with all due respect, the Premiership is the most spectacular league in the world because of the fact that you have all kinds of goals and everything, but then also you have all kinds of errors from the defenders also. Yeah. So that's why most of these goals happen. But the Bundesliga is it's a more well-structured league. Look, they just won the World Cup 2 years ago with 21 of the 23 players who were groomed up from the Bundesliga. That tells you already the quality of the league itself.
Yeah, yeah. And about the title race this season, because we've seen Leipzig, they're doing in Leicester way, from the bottom, from the second-tier league to the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Can you see them maybe pulling up a surprise this season?
Look, my favorite clubs in Germany are Cologne and Dortmund. Yeah.
Because you played for them,
and also because they are part of the reason why I eat well today. But you can't buy the figure that fits you, and there are people that treated me well, and I learned a lot from there. But at the same time, I really don't care if Bayern don't win it. If I don't want them to win it.
I think for the league itself, we need Leipzig to win. And what is Leipzig doing differently? They are doing what we just spoke about earlier. They've picked unknown young players on different positions, and they've made them now to school them in that positions. That means if you're a left back, this is what you need to learn to do that left back. Just learn that one and just put it up. And that's what they've done in all positions. They don't have star players. If you bring the star players of Leipzig here, you will all go past them and you won't even know who they are. Because they're not yet known. But that is going to change. I pray so when they take the title in May.
It's Leipzig.
Yeah, Leipzig. And I wish you all the best. You are playing tonight, Borussia versus Augsburg. Oliseh, the young guys who are watching you right now, they would like to play in Bundesliga the way you did, the likes of Yeboah. What can you tell them? What do they need for them to survive and make it in European leagues like Bundesliga? I know there are a lot of challenges, you know? Yeah,
there are a lot of challenges, but then again, we have already something that they don't have. That's creativity, and that's spontaneity, and that means we are unpredictable. Unpredictable in the sense that you never know an African can do, he's gone, you know? Because we learned it already from the school. I'm sure you can even also do it. So, but the difference with getting at the highest level in Europe is that you have to have some discipline. So let's face it, you have to be disciplined to know exactly what you have to do. You have to realize, by being disciplined, I mean know when to dribble, when to pass, when to defend, when to attack. And you know, they have timed out duties for everybody. So, and your ambition has to be better than them. Because if you go to Europe and you want to play as good as an European player, they won't sign you. You must have something better than them. It could be shooting, it could be dribbling, it could be ability to aerial balls, it could be ability to be aggressive on the man. And anything you know that you, as a young player, you look at yourself, you say, look, hey, I'm good at defending. Make sure you become 100% the best defender you have. That way, at least that one, they know that when I'm defending, I'm doing it right. And I am very optimistic for Africa.
Sure.
Abulanda, you know, discipline-wise, you saw what happened to Yaya the other day, even Aubameyang, there is a time he missed. I know you've scored a lot of goals, you know. I always remember the screamer you scored against Spain in the World Cup. Which goal comes to your mind, you know, the best you ever scored?
And not against Kenya, 1997.
No, that one was not. It was not too hard. It was just 20 meters. No, I'm just kidding. My favorite goal actually is not the one in the World Cup. It's the one that you already showed it.
Ajax, huh?
It was the first goal that I scored in playing for Ajax. It was like 30 meters and it dribbled over in the air, something like that. But the fact that it was in the Dutch league, the world didn't say it. But the World Cup was spectacular also, because it was a volley for almost 30 meters, I think, something like that. But it's the World Cup. You have almost 2 billion people watching. So
and beating Spain.
And beating Spain again. But I must be grateful. God has been great to me. He's made me excel when it mattered the most. So what can I say?
Na Mike, pengine tukikujumuisha kwa nini mkaamua kumleta Sunday Oliseh nchini Kenya? Manake tulimwona Nwanko Kanu miezi michache iliyopita, sasa Sunday Oliseh. Kwa nini Sunday Oliseh?
Unajua jambo la kwanza ambavyo na wewe mwenyewe ulijaribu kulitaja ni kwamba mambo ambayo sisi tunajaribu kusema ligi hii ya Uingereza celebrates wa Afrika. Hakuna ligi nyingine duniani ambayo ukiangalia kama kwa sasa ligi kuu ya Uingereza ni Aubameyang. Yule ndio mchezaji ambaye
Ujerumani.
Yule ndio mchezaji ambaye kila mtu kwa sasa anamlinda. Sisi wote tujiangalia na tusema twafurahia kuwa na twajigamba kuwa Afrika kwa sababu ya mchezaji mmoja.
Kweli.
Ukiangalia ligi zingine duniani, sidhani kuna ligi yoyote ambayo tunaweza pata mambo kama haya. Na hili ndio jambo ambalo tunajaribu kuzingatia kwa sasa, kusema kuna Waafrika wengi ambao wamecheza kwenye ligi hizi na ndio hao, na pia tuweze kuwapa motisha wachezaji wengine wachanga ambao waja kwenye waanza sasa kuingia kwenye biashara. Natumia jina hilo kimaksudi. Tuwatumia jina biashara, watu ambao waingia sasa kwenye biashara ya kadanda, kwa sababu kadanda ni biashara. Na lazima tuwe na watu ambao tutasema muangalie yule alijaribu mpira na kwa sasa he's successful.
Na ni kama kielelezo kweli amegusia kitu muhimu sana Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, manake ndiye mfungaji bora sasa, mabao 16 baada ya mechi 15. Wapo wachezaji umemtaja Tony Yeboah, kina Abedi Pele wamechezea pale. Ligi ya Ujerumani inaonyesha imetoa vipaji
sana Bula, na ukiangalia hata Boateng hao ni wazawa bara la Afrika, pamoja na kwamba anachezea nchi ya Ujerumani, na ukiangalia ligi pamekuwepo na matatizo hapa na pale madogo, ubaguzi wa rangi na vitu kama hivyo. Ndio swali ambalo kwamba alikuwa anataka kumuuliza. My third question was in relation to racism. You know, we've seen it happen not just in Germany but across Europe. Are we heading there? How is the war like against racism, you know, in European football?
Believe me, in comparison to what we had in the early 90s when I went to Europe, I can tell you there is no racism anymore, although it's still there. But racism is something that we cannot wipe out from this world. You know, even in our continent also, we also have people that will say, look, I don't want to go with him, he's from this country, I'm from that and that kind of thing. Racism is there, but I've always told kids, I've always told young upcoming players who ask me this question, and I tell them, I said, look, racism should not be your problem. Let it be the problem of the racist. You just have to make your own way.
They throw the banana, you eat it.
I will share a story with you. There was a game in Belgium where a Brazilian player was warming up, and they threw bananas at him. He just went there, picked it up, gave the rest to the bench, he went inside and he scored 2 goals. So it was the best answer you could give. But look, you can't worry in life. This is my philosophy in life. I cannot worry about something I cannot control, about something I can't influence. If the man is a racist, I can't influence it. But what I can influence is what I do, how I react to it. And that's what makes you sleep good at night. He's racist, good for you. You go my way. That's it.
Yeah. Abula, we got the president of the federation, Kenyan Federation, and other officials for the Football Kenya Federation that are watching the show, asking this question in relation to when you are in Germany, Italy, Dutch, the way those guys run their federations compared to our continent. Nigeria right now, Falcons have to go to the parliament. What's happening in Oliseh? How are we running our football in comparison to Europe?
Listen, bro. Don't draw me to politics, you know. I know you're going to my resignation, but let's leave it there. I think the thing there is, at the same time also, let's be fair to the federation chiefs too. It's a different environment, different situations. But at the same time also, sometimes when people don't know what to do, and people that are not of the trade, they just do what suits them the best. The only thing I can give as an advice to our federation people is that, remember one thing, you are serving the people. And if you can't know everything, there is nothing wrong with picking up a flight with the federation and taking a flight and driving up to the English FA and saying we want to spend a week to study how you manage your system. The moment they teach you, it is no longer theirs. They've lost it. You've taken it in and you bring it and you do your federation. But financially also, our federations are not the same. You know, the astronomical money that is invested into the leagues and the federations of the other teams, the countries you mentioned, is not the same like what is happening in Kenya, what's happening in Nigeria. But it's a shame. It's a shame when people call you and say, look, Mr. Oliseh, we need you to comment on this federation happening or in my country or whatever. I say, look, when it comes to Nigeria, I never discuss outside Nigeria. I discuss it in Nigeria. We don't wash our dirty linen outside.
Sure. Naam. Ni aliyekuwa mchezaji ambaye hivi sasa pia anaweza ingia miaka 42, lakini anaweza ingia uwanjani unapompatia mpira kusakata kabumbu. Sunday Oliseh tupo naye ndani ya studio kuzungumzia masuala chungu nzima ya soka hasa katika bara la Afrika ili kukuza soka na pia kule alikochezea katika ligi kuu nchini Ujerumani. Tukisonga mbele